Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's another Talk with Abby video. Before I start, I want to tell you guys to make sure you like, you subscribe, and you comment. Like, if I'm gonna have a channel, I should be authentic with my viewers about who I am. That's one of the reasons why I even started Talks with Abby. And before I get into the video, I am in no way, shape, or form trying to convert anybody into any type of religion. You're up to believe what you want to believe, but this is just about me personally and my experience. So I'm going to talk about how social media is affecting my spirituality. It affects a lot of people in my generation, the generation after me, because they were born in the technological age, and I already did another video on this too. Why I say this is because, well, I was raised in the church. Being raised in the church, it was something that I enjoyed, and then I went to Seventh-day Adventist school. Basically, if you don't know what Seventh-day Adventist is, that is a religion. I am Seventh-day Adventist. So I went to Seventh-day Adventist school, like from kindergarten, or from pre-K actually, all the way into my freshman year of college. And then I realized that the difference between when I was younger and then high school, I was more active. I feel like the reason why I say that I was more active in the church and stuff like that is because, well, when I was younger, I mean, there was not that much to do, because I was a kid. Like, what was there else for me to do? And I was part of what this called Adventurers and Pathfinders, well, depending on your age group. Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts is basically like that, but just for the church organization version of it. And we used to go camping and stuff like that. You do the same thing. Of course, there's biblical concepts within it, so that's like the major difference of it. And then freshman year of college, I feel like, well, all the Adventist schools I went to, not everybody's Adventist, so sometimes parents just know of the religion and they send their kids there. So the same thing with college. Not everybody was, but some people I met, their parents put them in Adventist school from when they were little, just like me, and so they decided to go to Adventist college. Like, when I was dorming, I was more active still because, you know, normally some people like, okay, I'm no longer a parent, so I'm not forced to go to church, because some parents, they drag their kids to church even though they don't want to go, and then their kids are like this the whole day because they're not even listening to what's going on. And some of them, I don't blame them. Granted, they're not supposed to be doing that because church is supposed to be the area where you worship. You're not supposed to be on your phone. You're supposed to be listening to what's going on. But sometimes I too feel, and because I'm still in my young age, so I feel that way. Like, a lot of things need to change. I think just before I left, or when I came back, I don't remember, we used to have what's called youth church. So basically, there were some Saturdays where we would go downstairs and have our own separate church from the older people. But one day, my pastor decided to cut that out, and I made a lot of the kids leave because now it's like we still have a good chunk of younger people, but not that much. At least in my age range, not at all. It's like 3-4 of us in my age range, and then after that, it's all like teens and like younger kids. So definitely, I feel like when I was growing up, like a teen, we had way more kids active in the church, way more. But it just went downhill. We left, and then some of them just went to other churches. So, I mean, yes, sometimes certain people make people move out and whatever the case may be. Personally, you know, I've been in the church I'm in now since I was like 5, so I'm just there until I'm there, you know. But I do understand, like, not fully enjoying the worship service, because sometimes I'm literally sitting there listening to a sermon and I'm like, but what does this have to do with anything? It's like, one, a pastor may not be, they're just talking about the same thing over and over. I get that we're still using the scripture, but try to make it modernized. So, or sometimes what they're talking about doesn't even not even have any biblical reference, and I'm literally sitting there like trying to figure out, okay, so you said this text is, and I'm like, but what is the correlation? And then so sometimes you're just sitting there like just looking like, and that's why I said I was more active when I went away. They follow the same practices. So for example, like we from Friday to Saturday, from sunset to sunset basically. So Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, we normally don't do anything like buying stuff, and it's just our time to basically worship. So, and go to church on Saturdays. So my school would follow those rules. Well, all the Adventist colleges follow them all, that they don't do anything. So Friday nights, by a certain time by Friday, they would lock up. Of course, well, except for food we had to eat. So yeah, they would lock up all the stuff like the gym and stuff, and the gym wouldn't open until Saturday when sunset was over. So they follow those rules. So if you're living on the dorm, there's the majority of all of us, we went to the church services. We all used to, I remember that was actually fun, all of us just going together to the worship service. Because so going to that college is that we had two options. They had Sligo, which was like the older church, and it was like a church that a lot of like a lot of people, it wasn't just people from our school campus. The church was literally on our campus church. And anyway, we used to go there anyway for like what they call like chapels. We would have weekly chapels. They had award ceremonies, they would have it in there, stuff like that in there. So they had that, but then they also created the church. I forgot what it was called. But that church was really for like us, the youth, for us to go in there. And I love that church because, like I said, they made it to relate to us. So a lot of the things that they talked about was relatable. I'm saying all this to say that I gotta do better now in terms of my spirituality. I'm really like into it. Like I had a devotional on my phone, but then because I have all these social media accounts, I'm trying to read and like focus on what I'm reading, and then I see, oh, somebody liked this. Oh, you got somebody commented on your post, and then it's like distraction, a complete distraction. And so, and I have the Bible app. I mean, I own a physical Bible, but when I read it, I feel like I'm reading it, some stuff over and over. I mean, there's common stories I know, like David and Goliath and stuff like that. But when I'm trying to read stories like about the whole lineage of all these people or something, and I get lost in the sauce. So that's why I got the app, because I can connect to, like, especially now that I have my Alexa, I could just literally connect my phone to my Alexa and have it read to me. But then temptation, because I could be listening and reading it. I'm not sure. Look, it started talking because I said Alexa. But I can be well, not reading, listening to what's going on from the Bible app, but then I see, oh, somebody texted you or this, and it just throws me off completely. So I'm definitely going to have to get a devotional, and a devotional that I can physically hold in my hand. Because when I read books, I can read other books that are paper books. So if I have, but they're like older devotions that I read already, so it's like I already know the story. Or like it's just like I'm just reading to read. That's why I want one that's more interactive, where I can actually like write down, because they have the devotionals where they ask you a question or something based on it, like what is it that you want to work on, for example, and then you can write in it. I'm going to purchase one, because I can personally say that God has done a lot of things for me in my life, even though like sometimes everything is not all peachy keen. He's always the person that I go to if I'm ever in a bad mood, because I don't really have that many friends. So there's but so many people I can go to that are around my age group. So that's like my connection. That's who I talk to. Like I will say that. But I need to get more active and really like praying more in terms of like every night and stuff like that. Because in the mornings, sometimes I may remember, sometimes I may forget. But there's one thing though. Even if I don't do it like when I first wake up, if I'm leaving my house, I do not leave my house without praying. It's not happening. And even if I'm late, I'm going to sit there and pray for all my family members. I might not call each by name, but all my family members, the friends, and just make sure that just praying over their well-being and that they're safe. And so this was just really for you guys to know more about me, but also for those of you, if you are spiritual, just to give you encouragement, to let you know that we all go through it, where we're kind of like so focused on all the other things, social media and all this other stuff. Remember that to go to the source, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, social media can be here, but I feel like my salvation is more important, and my relationship is more important with God. And that's why I gotta do better, honestly. Just get that connection back, because I don't ever say I'm not connected, but I feel like I'm not where, like I said, when I went away to school, I was so, like, I was really into the worship. I was swaying during music, but like when I'm in church now, I'm just like, I'm singing, but it's like I'm not in it. I'm not fully in it, because I sing in a praise team. Some of you guys already know I sing. You saw my live, that live at Black History Month live. Then you heard me singing, and so and yeah, I'm in the praise team, and sometimes I just don't feel like doing it, because it's just from me not always feeling the vibe, because like I said, is most of the young people are like gone, at least my age. I've granted, I feel like people my age, a lot of people like in my age group, like 23, 24, 25, 26, be such a different experience, hands down. But I'm probably like the youngest out of the whole group, and everybody else is like in their early 30s, I mean late 30s going into 40s. So it's like I'm like forced to be in the youth group. Share your thoughts on anything down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys for the next talk with Abby, which I think myself. Bye guys, see you in the next video.